Hi there, I'm Jill Konrath, author of 4 best-selling sales books. Selling to Big Companies, Snap Selling, More Sales, Less Time, and Agile Selling, which is all about how to get new salespeople up to speed as fast as humanly possible. Today I'm talking to Jake Rennie from Tile, Peter Chun from Lucidchart, and Jodi Maxson from Bill.com. Now, each of these people come from very different companies and have very different experiences, but we'll be finding out their strategies to shorten the ramp time of their new hire salespeople to get them on board and producing as fast as possible. Jodi Maxson, it's so fun to be here with you today.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
Yeah, you are the head of sales productivity at Bill.com. Can you tell us a little bit about you?
About me?
You.
Wow. Sales has been my passion for 30 years, probably more than I'd like. I was the first VP of sales at NetSuite from 0 to 30 million. I think I realized then that I love SaaS and I love the way you can make it work for, not just a one-to-one sale, but how can I make it better for everybody? I have a sales ops background, green accounting, so there's that nerd side.
There's the nerd side,
and then there's the salesperson.
Yeah.
So building, mushing them all together, I guess, I can finally come up with, I have a real passion for sales productivity.
And you're at Bill.com and you've been there for?
I actually started with Bill in January, full-time.
Okay.
But as part of the Bridge Group, I was on Tricia's team and had been consulting with the Bill Group in various different, whenever they needed this done or build this team or interim VP, I would go there, and I'd done that for the last 3 years.
So you really knew Bill when you Bill.com when you moved in. You really knew what was going on in the organization. Yeah. You knew the challenge that you had, and it's already a really good company, but you saw some things that you can improve.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we took a look at just one aspect of it, onboarding, what did you see that you wanted to do from the day that you started there 10 months ago, and what have you done to improve the onboarding process?
That's funny because Andy Cohen, the SVP, that was his #1 goal. You will do onboarding first. Before you can improve sales process, before you can improve anything else, we're hiring so rapidly.
Okay.
And, we actually, that was my focus. So January 14th was my first day there. I had 1 employee other than the SEs. So the SEs were very helpful for product training, but my focus was building an onboarding program for 6 different sales teams.
6 different sales teams.
Yeah, we sell through 2 channels, direct and through the accounting channel.
Okay.
And then obviously there's segmentation within that, SMB, mid-market. You might have the top 10 accounting firms, and then you have the masses of the other 40,000 that are out there.
Yes.
So it was really building a process for an onboarding process for 6 different teams. And and by the way, let's accommodate for the remote people so that they might not have to be here all the time, and they don't learn by osmosis because they're not in the hallways and talking to everybody. And that's where I started.
Okay, so what did you do first? You've been tasked with improving onboarding more than anything else, which I think is interesting.
Right.
And why first and foremost?
Because that was the biggest need. We were going to ramp.
You were going to ramp.
We were going to add another office.
Okay.
So that something had to be done, right?
Okay.
Hiring that many people, adding an additional office. The first thing that I did was I noticed the way we were interviewing, and I started with the hiring process.
Yeah.
We have young managers, some more than others, more than other companies maybe, had grown quickly, and they bring someone in and they'd send them to this person to interview this person, and I noticed they were going around to 4 or 5 people. And this isn't anything different than I saw at other companies when I was with the Bridge Group.
It's normal with growing companies.
They were asking, so you did this, so tell me about why you're qualified. They were all asking the same questions. And I thought, the poor person that they're interviewing. Then I also saw a disconnect. There's that usual HR's not giving us the people we want. We got to go use a recruiter. And it's like, did we really tell HR who we wanted? So let's start with the hiring. Who are we looking for? Let's get real clear about the criteria.
Okay.
Let's weight and rank that criteria. Let's share it amongst the managers. Let's interview different pieces. You know, something obviously was in Tricia's book from my days then, but we also used closed loop, and we did a lot of their process and workshops, and basically came out with VP's going to ask this, the hiring
so it
managers.
was very well-defined process.
Yeah,
so
it
you
was.
got the most. The criteria that you were looking for, you were before onboard, you have to get the right person. What were your top criteria?
You know, it's funny, sitting in a room, I think all the managers, we got together in a workshop, and they came up with probably 20.
Yeah.
And I was like, can we just cut that a little bit?
Yeah.
So, you know, you need someone with drive. You need someone that's competitive. You need somebody that can listen, that can dig for pain, discovery, and somebody that can succinctly present our value proposition in a way that you can hear it.
Cool.
So we just kind of really talked about what those were, what were the questions that we could ask to determine, not your, give someone to interview and let them start asking, so about this resume. We started with that, and then Kevin and I just took a look at what each of the managers were doing, because mind you, they were coming on board and we were turning them over to the manager, and which was great if the manager had time. But what happened if they had two at once, or what if it was a new manager?
Yeah.
That wouldn't work. So we really interviewed the managers and the other successful reps, and we decided we were going to start with the customer. We weren't going to start with the product, which is what there's a lot of people want to do.
I know. Most people want to push, everything that you need to know about our stuff.
Build.com University, right?
Yeah.
Get certified.
Yeah.
It was like, that's great, but we're going to do that last.
Okay. So part of your onboarding process then was, we are going to focus on the customer when these people come in.
So the first week is customer. No matter what department you're in, whether you're selling to the accounting channel or whether you're selling direct to small businesses, who is your customer? What's the market like? Renee had done a fantastic all-hands meeting where he really talked about why he built the company, what the passion, the problem he was solving, and we actually start every onboarding with that video. So
people really understand the why behind everything that they're doing.
Absolutely.
That makes all the sense in the world.
He talked about himself being a small business owner and finding paying bills a hassle.
Yes.
He even goes into, they don't teach you how to file in the filing cabinet, when you go to college. And, and so we make the pain real for before
they learn about all the little features and capabilities.
We don't. Reports,
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, now I'm going to switch and ask a little bit. So your onboarding process takes how long? If you hired me today,
I get you for 3 weeks.
You get me for 3 weeks.
The first 2 weeks are on site.
Okay.
The first week is all about the customer. The second week is really all about the solution and how it solves the customer's needs, not the product yet. You don't push the button, but the use cases.
Okay.
And they're different, obviously. And then the third week is actually the in-depth product training.
Okay. So what about selling skills? How do you teach them selling skills?
You know what? It's so funny. I didn't even think about that. It's all throughout the first 2 weeks.
Okay.
Target market, buyer persona, how do we write a voice message, how do we write an email, opening calls, what's our discovery process.
It's all woven in based on what they're learning about the customer at different times.
That's funny. That's just so ingrained in it, right?
That's why I had to ask.
I know.
Because you didn't say anything about it and you just turned them on.
I need to think about that.
You turned them loose with nothing there. Okay, so I go through, I've got 3 weeks of training with you. Then what?
We're going to put you on the phones. We're going to come back. We're going to do some certification. Can you talk to me? Can you record yourself? So
are you putting me on the phones with real people now after 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
With real people. They might not be our highest value.
Okay.
Lead, depending. Are you selling to small, are you getting, some of them are inbound leads.
Okay.
Some of them might be not as high priority up front. But they're talking to real customers. And it's working.
It's working. Okay, so
How's it working?
How do
I know, right?
Okay, let me. Yeah. How do you know it's working? Is one question. And also metrics. I'm interested in what metrics you use to gauge the success. I mean, you're in charge of productivity. That means you are measuring things. Yeah?
Yeah, I am. We are measuring things like units sold, dollars sold,
Yeah.
calls made, how many calls move the sales, the opportunity if there is one, how many meetings are BDRs, how many meetings do you create?
Yeah.
So we're starting to find all of those metrics. Ramp time. Now I'm starting to get excited about the harder metrics. You know, how much time do you spend selling? But that's after onboarding.
Okay, that's after onboarding. And so, but you're looking at ramp time and what, you know, have you shortened the ramp time since you've been there?
Yeah, you can see looking at not even, because ramp time, how do you define it? That was one of the things. I always used 2 months at quota.
Okay.
And even that's subjective, you know, because we eliminate the bluebird that could happen by hitting the first month. But even 2 months at quota is subjective, because what if one manager assigns quota in a different team? So that was hard. So that's when we went to units and dollars sold. And you can actually see a difference in the last year, the cohorts. By cohort, when they've come in against their other team members.
So you measure the cohorts too, and one group versus the next group that comes in, and people go through. You hire multiple people at a time.
We do. That was one of the first things that we tried to do, was get it where we were going to do an onboarding class. There were a couple months where we did one in Palo Alto, one in Houston, with the new office, but we do try to bring in a cohort all at one time, because they tend to help each other, tends to help them find ways to navigate the rest of the company also. And we do bring in other people in the company. Our HR does a great job with what I would call who's who kind of HR onboarding, but all of the sales skills, the customer, et cetera, that's all under
your umbrella. Okay, so I'm your new hire rep. I'm done with my onboarding process. Can I just wash my hands and say, okay, I got it all?
Well, you're never going to be done with me. I'm going to be walking around, looking over your shoulder, working with your manager. Yeah, that's the part that, you know, mind you, I've been there since January.
Yes.
We've developed the 3-week program. We've added Chorus. We've added WorkRamp. Well, talk about other tools, but we've put in content management tools. So we've done all that. My next big focus is, what do you do on the 60, 90, 120 days?
Right, because that's still part of your onboarding.
It is.
Realistically.
It is. Yeah. And right now, I'm probably doing it a bit more ad hoc than I'd like. I mean, I meet weekly with the teams, with the members, find out what are they struggling with. I'll find things that, we can improve on the RevOps side and fix it for them. So I'm constantly looking for ways to make their job easier.
Okay, so now I'm sitting here thinking I'm working for you, and now you're behind my back listening to me?
I think I've developed a really good relationship with these guys. I'm not your manager. I'm focused on making them better, not finding out what they're not doing.
So you're not walking around going, nah, not good. You've got to do something better here.
No, I'm looking for what's good so that I can replicate it. If it's working for somebody that's really good, how can we replicate that? If it's not good, let's fix it. I'm still going to look for problems, right?
Yeah.
But it's different. The fact that Bill.com has invested, you know, in having somebody like me that's there to make them better. The reps, I don't know, I would challenge you to go call any one of them.
They're not feeling like it's a punitive thing. It's a constant learning environment.
I really think it is. I really think it is.
That's good. That's good.
And I would openly want somebody to secret shop that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, okay. So you're talking now, you want to go beyond the 30, 60, 90 day. You want to get me better still after my initial thing. And you can't do everything at that point. You've got to be turning it over to your sales.
No, we're doing a lot of manager training this year. We brought in a lot of tools for them to use. Chorus. You know, it's funny, Chorus, conversation intelligence, using that for the reps,
Yeah.
after they got over that initial hump of I don't want to be recorded and
Right, I
big
mean, because
brother.
role plays.
Oh, then they're sending them to each other, and they're really enjoying it. We actually, did a video testimonial for course and the reps. The reps were using it more than the managers.
Interesting.
So now we're focusing on how can they use course to improve their coaching, to improve their number.
So you're focusing on how the managers can use
Yeah.
this conversational intelligence tool, course, to get better at their jobs.
Sure, absolutely.
And how does that work?
By being able to set aside time, think about it, they've got 8 or 9 reps to manage.
Yeah.
How are they wandering around and seeing where the deal is? The integration with Chorus and Salesforce lets you see everything that's been done, lets you briefly
Sure.
listen to it. They can actually see the stages move. They can create playlists, maybe a playlist for what didn't go so well. And then,
Can you define playlist?
a playlist is like Spotify. Think about your playlist
Okay.
on your iPhone.
Boom,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm going in Chorus and I'm saying I want all those calls like. So I can manually listen to them and put them all in my playlist, and then like we do in onboarding,
Okay.
play it for the team later. Or I can ask Chorus using, artificial intelligence, find me all the calls by this team that said these things, etc. And the managers are now able to use those in team meetings.
Wow.
Let's focus on one thing at a time. That's something you've always said.
Yeah.
Turn everything else off.
One thing, focus.
One thing.
Right.
And, they're able, let's focus on that opening. Let's focus on discovery. Let's focus on the demo.
Right, because you can't do everything at once. You can't improve every skill
Right.
concurrently. You have to have something that you can work on getting better at, because it takes a while to actually get good at something.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Now, you told me earlier that you have just opened up a new remote office.
We did about September, we opened up our Houston office.
Okay.
It was primarily customer success, engineering to start, and we decided to build I'd say the core, our SMB business, decided to extend and grow that business there. Because of what we did with the management team earlier in the year, we made 6 offers in one day. We onboarded them.
Six new hire reps.
6 brand new A's.
Brand new. No background in sales or minimal background?
No, that was the thing about Houston. I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised. The talent pool there is much better than I would have thought.
So you brought in some reps with some good background. They interviewed well. They met your criteria.
Right.
Yeah.
And we sent one of our great reps with the director. They're starting that office, and now we're just starting to see. It's only been a month and a half, 2 months.
Okay, so you're bringing a lot. Again, you have a cohort, a group of
Right.
new people who have just come on board. They're learning together.
We sent another rep from our Palo Alto office, 1 rep a week, with a focus on what they were supposed to help work on. Could be process, could be talking to the customer.
So the rep that went down from your other office had a specific assignment, and it wasn't just what he or she was good at. It was something that you determined ahead of time was part of their.
Yeah, we worked with them one of the weekend. When I went down at the same time as one of the reps, and I said, let's work on the demo. So the rep and I, it's just another way of reinforcing our onboarding. The rep and I went in. The rep gave a demo. I played the customer. I wasn't a very nice customer, but...
And now let me just say, why were you not a very nice customer?
I wanted to push on the rep. He knew it. We did it together. So that the other reps could see all the stuff that you don't think about.
Okay.
When you first learn how to do something. You're taught how to demo. You show this, 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 and this. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to make it more live. Like, okay, say the customer doesn't want to do anything with accounts receivable. They are only
Everything's
don't
fine.
Show me that.
Yeah.
Don't show me that
Yeah.
part. Just show me what my pain points are. So we wanted to set the tone for this is going to be a little bit uncomfortable. It's going to be odd. And so then we had each one of the 6 reps come in based on the discovery criteria that we told them we gave them.
Okay.
They were supposed to demo us accordingly.
Okay, and so you
And
played the role of
they
the
loved
customer
it.
the whole time?
I did, and the other sales rep also then.
Okay, and so you created opportunities to screw up.
Oh, we sure did.
You did.
We created a lot of them, and they enjoyed them.
They did.
That was the part that was fun. Is they laughed, we laughed, they learned
Through mistakes.
Yeah.
Through tough things.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure everybody teaches people how to deal with the tough scenarios that they run into.
I think you're right. I think that a lot of them is, here's your demo and go do it and live and learn. And we want, with 6 people coming in one office at one time, we wanted to put enough focus on it. So the next week another rep went down and I said, work with them on their process. It's one thing to talk to a customer on the phone. How do I get all my internal stuff into Salesforce.com? Did I get the approvals that I needed? Did I move this deal forward?
Okay, so you mentioned Salesforce, you mentioned Chorus. What other technologies do you use?
We use Outreach,
okay,
especially in an effort to make our first contact with the customer. We use Outreach to even dial from Outreach, so the call is recorded in Chorus if we're not doing a Zoom meeting. We use WorkRamp.
Which does?
WorkRamp is a sales training system.
Okay.
HR brought in Docebo, which is more of a corporate-wide learning tool. So we're gonna switch so that we have some consistency. Some of the feedback we got was, why am I taking HR courses out of this and work? So a little bit of tool bloat maybe. So we're
tool
combining.
bloat. Okay, so you're not
there.
in a frenzy to add a huge tech stack.
No, I'm not. I think our tech stack is pretty set. We did put HighSpot in because reps were trying to get content out of our Google Drive. And because of the compliance issues, we have a unique situation being a finance company, bill pay.
Yes.
We were unable to send anything from Google Drive, which is great. But each rep would download, they'd have the old version on their laptop, and there was no consistency. So we did just put HighSpot in.
And that becomes the central hub for all the stuff that the reps might need to use.
All the customer-facing documents that the reps can send at various points during the sales process.
So I have another question. What are you going to do next? I mean, if you're next, you're into this sales productivity thing, and I really want to know what's next.
I want to make sure that the sales process is consistent across all the teams. Really, we've been talking about teaching new people, giving them the tools they use.
Yes.
But is the sales methodology working for each one of the teams individually, and are we consistently using it? Could that be why maybe some of the sales go dark? And if it is, let's fix it. So that's the part, that's my favorite part.
That's your favorite part, figuring out what next
to.
And how am I going to really figure this thing out? And how will you do that?
Ride-alongs, Chorus, listening to calls, doing ride-alongs, finding out from the sales rep. They know why the sale went dark.
Do they?
They do. The thing is, will they tell you?
Will they tell you?
Right.
Yes, yeah.
And I believe they will.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I really do like that. I want to make it, and I want to take away anything that slows them down from making a sale. Is it collateral? Is it information? Is it knowledge? Is it training?
How do you find that out?
I think the best way to do it is being there. I mean, I am there on site, asking the right questions. After working with enough companies, I think you start to know what those questions are.
Yes, you do develop a bit of expertise, don't you?
Just a little.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For talking with us today. Really interesting what you're doing.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
If you're watching, here's what I hope for you. I hope you'll first of all understand the critical nature of onboarding and how important it is to the ongoing success and profitability of your entire sales organization. Investing time in onboarding is one of the smartest things that you as a sales leader can do. If you do it right, your sales reps get up to quota faster. And if you do it wrong, they fail, they leave the company, and then you have to start all over again. So listen up to what these people have to say. You'll get a lot out of it.